If you didn't know this already, then let me inform you that I am a massive nerd with shitty opinions. I like stories with complex mechanics, unique approaches to storytelling, and relatable villains. So when I booted up Quantum Break and I didn't stop playing until I beat it the next morning, you could say I slightly enjoyed it. So since a lot of this review is going to be me groveling at Remedy's feet, I will be criticizing everything else. And I mean everything else, since there is still plenty to rip apart. In case you don't know, Quantum Break was released in 2016 to mostly critical acclaim and was widely panned by its player base. Some criticism I agree with, some things I don't agree with but understand, and some make conspiracy theories sound logical. To be honest, I feel like this game gets more hate than is deserved. The story is generally one of the most engaging time travel plots that I have ever experienced, with interactions made with the player creating ripples which affect parts of the story and TV show later on that reward observant players. The game is divided into 5 acts, and each act divided into 3 parts where the player shoots at the bad guys and finds collectibles. At the end of each act, you reach what the game calls a junction, where you take control of the main antagonist and make a monochrome black and white decision that slightly alters later levels and the TV show that follows it. The show itself is an interesting storytelling device, since Remedy used it as a perfect opportunity to flesh out the side characters whose decisions have an actual impact on the story. The story itself is very interesting, with the main goal involving fixing time before it breaks permanently, causing anyone and everything to be stuck in a frozen state for all of eternity. The story follows Jack Joyce, who is invited to Riverport University by his friend Paul Serene, who has asked for our help with an important project. Paul introduces us to Project Promenade that aims to be the first ever working time machine. Jack helps to test it by sending Paul 2 minutes into the past, ending in success. Afterward, they attempt traveling 5 minutes into the future, but just as Paul steps into the machine, our brother Will attempts to stop us from continuing the test. However, he fails as the time machine core explodes, freezing time for everyone besides Jack and Paul. Paul decides to go through the machine as it's the only way out, and Jack unfreezes Will from the stutter in time. After time unfreezes, the lab is breached by Marnik Solutions, forcing Jack and Will to flee. Throughout their escape, Jack learns that due to his close proximity to the core during the explosion, he has begun to develop time control powers. During their escape, Will and Jack are separated, and once Jack catches up to him, they learn that Paul Serene was behind the attack in the first place, as the head of Monarch Solutions. Paul kills Will and captures Jack, kicking off the rest of the game. This immediately jumps into the first junction, where you can choose the hardline approach, killing off any witnesses, or the PR approach, boosting the reputation of Monarch and labeling Jack Joyce a terrorist. With all this build-up and action in the first level that I just described to you, you'd assume that these choices would have a large impact on the story as a whole, maybe change how characters interact with you, maybe even open up the possibility of multiple endings. You'd assume, right? Actually, what it does is change some dialogue and levels and episodes, while everything else stays exactly the same. Seriously, even with every ripple found, most cutscenes stay the same, episodes change slightly, and it all leads to the same exact ending. I know why it does this. I understand that fate is a green light at the end of the dock, but if I'm killing civilians for no reason other than to feel something, while nothing permanently changes, it becomes a little disappointing. It's not even that the ending is bad, it actually ends on a sequel bait that got me very excited, but with zero word from Remedy 7 years following, I'm not holding my breath. But in case Remedy is taking requests, I want the entire combat system overhauled. The guns in this game are a joke. They try to give you a variety by giving you plenty of ammo for rifles and shotguns, but you really only need your starting pistol since it does decent damage, is consistent and accurate, and has infinite ammo. There's no reason to not use it as your primary weapon. It's the same issue I had with Alan Wake, where the combat felt boring at times, and my time travel powers aren't contrived enough to make me go back and fix it myself. The enemies are pushovers as well, since half-decent management of your ability should mean you have easy defensive options if you fuck up and are put in danger. There are your basic enemies, and then basic enemies with Baby Ray sauce. Normal enemies consist of those found in any other shooting game, but with Sweet Baby Rays, they harness the Chronon Field to be able to move in the time stutters like you and mimic your time dodge ability. Putting the combat on an even playing field actually makes it interesting, because now instead of pummeling the weak into the dirt, you have to actually think. That is, until you realize shooting the harness instantly kills them. I swear, the combat is so close to being perfect, but it's just way too easy. The game even allows you to upgrade your time abilities by finding certain collectibles throughout levels, and you barely need to do that. Yeah, it makes it harder, but this is my no upgrades pistol only run on the hardest difficulty. Look, I'm not normally the type to ask to be hit harder, but I've learned what I enjoy. And I do enjoy your level design. Orgasmic is the word that comes to mind thinking of the finale. Actually amazing. This game took all the good aspects of Alan Wake's background storytelling and ran with it. There is a building tension between the people of Riverport and Monarch Solutions that is established at the beginning of the game and only grows stronger as you progress. All of the collectibles and optional pickups serve only to deepen the lore and characters, and there is a lot of it. I mean, just so many emails. They even began the Remedy Connected Universe here, confirming Alan Wake to exist within the same world, which was a very nice touch, especially when I found this blackboard in the university detailing a more comprehensive breakdown of a story and its lore than I could ever do. All the characters are great, serving the plot perfectly. Jack and his brother Will Joyce and Paul Serene all have excellent arcs as the Joyce brothers repair their relationship and work together to take down their best friend. Paul is fused by the horrors he saw at the end of time and is convinced that the ends justify the means. Beth Wilder is a character I haven't even mentioned yet and somehow is the most important character in the story while being the most developed and complex among them. Her and Joyce's relationship is fun and real and heartbreaking all at the same time. And since she is the same actress for Jesse Faden in Control, it makes me very excited to revisit the game. The most common issue I've heard about is that the final boss is too hard and unfair. Skill issue. He has a move that can one-shot you if you're not careful, but if you have any higher order brain functions, then you should be fine. It's pretty easy to dodge, and it glows bright fucking red, so it's pretty hard to miss. Honestly, if you have an extra $40 that you can spare, then I highly recommend this game. Its story is great, its combat is mostly fun, and hopefully Remedy will announce a sequel after Alan Wake 2. With all that said, thanks for watching. I've been working on a video for Signalis, so look forward to that soon. If you enjoy my dumbass, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. My goal is to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and it would mean a lot if you'd help me reach that goal. If you want to see more of me, I stream every game on review over at twitch.tv/Lika_TTV, and it'd be really cool to see you there. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.